Outside Nigeria now, the United Nations Security Council has unanimously adopted its first declaration on Ukraine since Russia invaded in February, backing the UN Secretary General's efforts to find a peaceful solution to the war. Russia voted with the other 14 members of the Council to back a declaration supporting efforts to find a peaceful end to the crisis. And we have more in this report.
The declaration, drafted by Norway and Mexico, only stops short of supporting a mediation effort by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, as was laid out in an earlier version of the text. The 15-member council also recalls that all member states have undertaken under the Charter of the United Nations the obligation to settle their international disputes by peaceful means. The text ends with a demand on Mr. Guterres to submit a report to the Council after the adoption of the declaration. Shortly after, Russia vetoed a resolution condemning the invasion, asking Moscow to move its army back to Russian soil. And in the heat of war, Ukraine is continuing a counteroffensive near the city of Kharkiv and says it has recaptured 5 villages. US-based Institute for the Study of War says the Ukrainians could soon free Kharkiv from the threat of Russian artillery. Kharkiv has been under constant shelling since the start of the war. No one knows how many people have died in the battle for Ukraine's second-largest city, including civilians as well as soldiers from both sides. According to the assessment from the U.S. military think tank, the battle for Kharkiv could be a decisive phase. The city of Kharkiv could define victory or defeat in eastern Ukraine. It lies directly on an important road that leads from Russia in the north into the Donbas region and contested regions in the south and southeast of Ukraine. So far, Russian troops have tried in vain to capture the city. At a metro station where people seek shelter from Russia's bombs, children find comfort in some time with their teacher. Maybe this could distract them from constant panic and fear.
On the intelligence, I think you can understand I'm going to be careful.
Meanwhile, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby has denied claims by Moscow that the U.S. is in a proxy war with Russia because it is giving weapons to Ukraine and providing some military training. But Mr. Kirby describes the war as Russia's war, started by President Putin and could end if he wants it to. Briefing journalists, he reacted to questions on the U.S. monetary and weapons support for Ukraine.
We provide them what we believe to be relevant and timely information about Russian units that will allow them to adjust and execute their self-defense to the best of their ability. The kind of intelligence that we provide them, it's legitimate, it's lawful, it's limited.
As the conflict between both sides continues, many Ukrainians, especially in the capital Kiev and Kharkiv, the second-largest city, hope for lasting peace.
The European Union says it is already in talks with Nigeria to get its supply of gas following Russia's withdrawal of supplies to the regional body, being a fallout of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. The EU ambassador in Nigeria says the international body is also interested in continuing to deepen the bilateral relations between Nigeria and between the Union and Nigeria. And our correspondent Moyo Thomas reports.
The EU Commission lights up the Abuja city gate to signify the strong partnership between Nigeria and the European Union. Earlier at a press briefing, the European Union head of delegation, Samuela Isopi, paid tribute to the growing bilateral relations between Nigeria and the European Union.
As every year, this is also an opportunity to take stock of the main achievements and results of our cooperation and our partnership with Nigeria.
She specifically harped on the advantages this has brought to Nigeria, especially in areas of trade.
The European Union is Nigeria's most important trading partner. We are the largest trading partner for Nigeria, amounting for almost 21% of Nigeria's trade with the world. The world is big, so I don't have to tell you that if we represent 21%, it's quite big.
If you go back a couple of years to 2020, trade between EU and Nigeria, total trade, was actually down to 22 billion euros. So there was a big global downturn in trade. Nigeria was affected by this along with every other country in the world, but it has bounced back. And it's interesting that it has bounced back in Nigeria's favour. So there's quite a big trade surplus in Nigeria's favour.
The ambassador also disclosed that Nigeria has sent a request to the EU to observe the 2023 elections, which he says is part of their commitment to ensuring democratic governance and rule of law. She assures that these and many more forms of support to Nigeria will remain unwavering.
I cannot provide you figures. I hope I will be able to do it next year. But we also are, I will not say the first, but for sure one of the leading investors in Nigeria. We are mapping out for the very first time the presence of European Union investments in Nigeria. When I say European Union investments, what I mean is joint ventures, so joint cooperation.
The 9th of May is a European Union Day, and the Commission says it will mark this with government officials on the day. The EU also promised to strengthen its relations in digital economy by supporting startup companies in the country. Moya Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.
Nigerians have been advised to take issues affecting the girl child seriously to help groom them to be responsible citizens. Well, this call came as filmmakers converged on the set of a new movie, Ivie, produced by Kingsley Omoefe. Our correspondent, Theophilus Elama, reports.
According to the World Health Organization, adolescence is a critical period that can determine the trajectory of anyone's life, especially girls. It's a stage at which key investments and support can set girls on a path towards empowerment, or when discrimination, recurrent constraints, harmful practices, and violence can send them down a negative spiral. This comes with lifelong consequences, not just for themselves, but for society and future generations. It's based on this premise that Pat Ogre is directing a movie on this. Set for box office success, the director is sparking off conversations on the girl child with her upcoming film, Ivie.
Issue of child abuse, issue of rape, we don't want to talk about it because we feel that there's a stigma.
Story about a woman and her 2 children, and I just thought that even as a woman I would like to tell the story.
Produced by Kingsley Omoefe, the movie features Segun Arinze, Bimbo Akintola, Bob Manuel, among many others. Segun Arinze, who was spotted on the set of the film, noted that the film poked at the issues of gender.
These are the kind of things that we see are very, very appalling when it comes to the female gender. Even with the guys, even worse. But for once, I think we should just try and get the females together, try and make them, let their life be worthwhile.
It's actually based on a true story, true life story and all that. So if this story we were talking about today happened like 4 or 5 years ago and it's happening to that, is something it's a cause to worry about.